The doorbell rang at exactly 2 p.m., like always. I stood on the welcome mat of their tidy Burlington townhouse, clutching a bag of library books Noah had requested, heart already braced for whatever new boundary waited inside. That first Saturday 3 years earlier, my daughter-in-law Rebecca had greeted me with a single typed page instead of a hug. Grandparent Guidelines, it read at the top in crisp font. No unscheduled drop-ins. No unsanctioned snacks. No unscreened conversations about money or the past. No photos posted online without permission. Sign here to acknowledge. I'd stared at the paper, then at my son Ethan hovering awkwardly by the stairs, eyes on the floor. I signed. What choice did a 68-year-old widower have if he wanted to keep seeing his only grandchild? My name is Harold Kane. I built bridges for the province for 34 years, steady work, steady hands. When my wife Clara was diagnosed with aggressive lymphoma, I retired the next week. She fought 17 months. In her final days she held 3-month-old Noah against her chest and whispered, "This little man is proof the world still makes miracles." She never got to see him crawl, walk, or say pop pop the way he did the first time I visited after her funeral. After Clara, the distance started small. Rebecca preferred advance notice. Visits shrank from afternoons to 90-minute slots. Then came the contribution discussion. Ethan sat me down over takeout coffee and explained, very reasonably, that Rebecca felt ongoing family support would make everyone more comfortable. $800 a month wired to her personal account. It's not about the money, Dad. It's about commitment. I drove home that evening tasting metal. I thought of the $75,000 I'd handed them 6 years earlier, no strings, for the down payment on this very house. A chunk of Clara's life insurance proceeds and my father's old RRSP. I never asked for a thank you note. Family doesn't need receipts. I told myself then. I was wrong. I kept every email, every curt text canceling a visit, every revised guideline update. I spoke to my longtime bookkeeper, Miriam Chen, who pulled statements I'd never scrutinized. $26,000 had slid quietly from their joint account into one titled only to Rebecca, small, staggered transfers labeled miscellaneous household. Started 18 months after my gift arrived. Ethan's name nowhere near that secondary account. I found a family lawyer through a widow in my support group, quiet, methodical Evelyn Warwick. She listened, reviewed the paper trail, then said 3 words that changed everything: grandparents have standing. Ontario law allows a grandparent to seek court-ordered access when contact is being unreasonably restricted. We also reframed the $75,000, not as a gift anymore, but as an undocumented loan given the subsequent redirection of funds and the emerging pattern of financial leverage over access. I prepared the envelope in silence. 6 weeks of Saturday visits where I smiled, read stories, built block towers, and never once let Rebecca see the storm behind my eyes. Noah asked why my voice sounded funny sometimes. I told him I had a frog in my throat from missing him too much. He giggled and hugged my leg harder. The day I delivered the documents, Rebecca opened the door in yoga clothes, smile automatic. Ethan appeared behind her. I handed him the thick manila envelope. "Read this together. Then we talk." He skimmed the demand letter first, repayment requested, grandparent access petition pending if needed, then the financial summary. His face drained. Rebecca tried to interject, "This is taken out of context. Savings for Noah's future." Ethan held up a hand. For the first time in years, he looked directly at her, not through her script. Noah wandered in, barefoot, clutching a toy truck. "Pop's here." He launched at me. I lifted him, felt his small arms lock around my neck, and met Ethan's gaze over the boy's head. "Dad," Ethan said, voice cracking. "Come in." We sat at their dining table for 3 hours. Rebecca's explanations unraveled against cold dates and bank stamps. Ethan asked questions she couldn't answer. By the end she was silent, arms folded tight. 9 months later they were legally separated. Ethan kept the house. The equity settlement included partial reimbursement of my original funds. Rebecca relocated to her sister's in Mississauga. I now have Noah every other weekend and one midweek dinner. No laminated rules, no transaction log. Last week he turned 7. We spent the afternoon at the waterfront trail Clara loved, hunting for flat stones to skip. He lost his second front tooth mid-laugh and insisted on calling me right then so I could hear him lisp the news. I snapped a photo of his proud, gap-toothed grin and set it beside the one of Clara cradling newborn him, the two pictures now side by side on my mantel. If you're a grandparent counting hours between visits, or watching someone you love slowly priced out of their own family, hear this: love should never arrive with a user agreement. Access isn't currency. And silence isn't peace, it's permission. I learned the hard way. But I also learned that steady hands can still move mountains when the weight is finally measured correctly.